You are listening to the Vegan Body Coach podcast, all about optimizing your strength, fitness, and physique through a plant-focused diet. My name is Jackson Burton, and I'm a nutrition and training coach for vegans, the plant-centric, and plant-curious. I'm sitting down with athletes, experts, and influencers around the world to inspire you to create your best vegan body yet. James, welcome to the Vegan Body Coach podcast. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And today I really want to just dive into some topics that maybe haven't been discussed at length before.
Okay.
They probably have been with you because you've talked to so many different people around the world, and there's a lot of your good content online on YouTube, on Instagram. Mm-hmm. But maybe for the people that are specifically listening to this podcast, which is a little bit more centered around body composition and training and nutrition for vegans and the plant curious.
Yep.
Who is James Aspey? What's he about? What are you up to?
I'm just a normal guy who was a personal trainer, and I was, as a personal trainer for 7 years, thinking I knew what I was doing and helping people with their health and things like that. I came to realize that I was telling people such bad information that was destroying their health and also destroying our environment here, this planet, and also destroying the lives of countless sentient beings, countless other earthlings that we inhabit this earth with. When I learned that, I made a quick change in my life to, one, become a vegan, and two, become an activist and spread the vegan message, because what I'd learned instantly absolutely shocked me. I couldn't believe it existed. I felt so cheated. I felt like just so down on earth, because what happens and what good people are paying for is horrific violence every day when they eat meat, dairy, and eggs, when they wear leather, all these things. And I just woke up to a Holocaust that was happening on my plate, and I was eating the murder victims of this atrocity. So I was just a chiller before that, bro. Like I was a personal trainer. I was a surfer, skater, meditator, just chilling, just doing my thing, not too savvy about the situation at all. And then that really spurred me into activism. I did a 1-year vow of silence the day that I started becoming vegan, the day I went vegan.
Wow.
I traveled around Australia in that time. I wrote a blog. I tried to just tell people what I was learning and how much healthier we can be on a vegan diet, and how wrong it is that we aren't on a vegan diet when we can be, when it's a total possibility and option for almost everyone. The vast majority of people have plants available to them that they can live and thrive and get every nutrient from.
Yep.
So I finished that vow of silence. I spoke for the first time on a morning show in Australia, and that was seen by tens of millions of people. It was my first words were a heartfelt plea for people to align their morals with their actions and stop supporting unnecessary violence. And after that, people wanted to hear the story. Who's this guy who didn't talk for a year? So I started traveling around the world, accepting every invitation I could to go and spread the message and talk about what I'd learned. And I've done a few things since then. I got tattooed for 25 hours to raise awareness. Yeah. I've spent nights inside slaughterhouses documenting, and it's just basically done a lot of speeches, man. A lot of speeches, hundreds for free. Mainly I just want to spread this message, bro. So that's who I am now, and aside from that, I'm still a skater, chiller, meditator, whatever. Yeah. But that's a huge passion of mine and a huge responsibility that I feel I have to awaken the masses and tell people what's going on, because they've been lied to, and just try to help all these animals, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's one of the big reasons you are so relatable to a lot of guys, especially, and this is something I want to cover a little bit today, is just because you are your average Joe, right? You're a skater, surfer, you grew up the standard sort of Australian life, and you're in the gym, you're personal training. What was your diet like at that stage during those years? Because obviously you were in the gym industry, and that's as we know, and as we talk about a lot on this podcast, there's a lot of bro science going around, and there's a lot of stuff around specific needs for protein, and specifically the meat, eggs, and dairy. Yes,
and absolutely, that was what I was obviously eating, just like every single other person I knew. Yeah. There were little tweaks and variations of a meat-heavy, dairy-heavy, egg-heavy diet. But for the most part, I was eating a lot of meat, dairy, and eggs every single meal. Like maybe not eggs at every meal, but always meat pretty much. And, often a combination of the two or all three. And, I was a personal trainer, like I said, for 7 years. Before that, I'd been in the gym since I was probably 14. I got my black belt when I was 14.
Wow.
And I had been training hard for that so that I could, pass that grading. So I'd been interested in fitness for a long time. I'd been interested in what to eat for good nutrition and good health for a long time. And the whole time, I believed that what that meant was getting a lot of protein.
Yeah.
I was eating a lot of meat, like steak for breakfast, ribs, lamb, obviously chicken, and just every bit of meat, like any meat. Any kangaroo I was having sometimes. I'd eaten crocodile, emu.
Right.
Bro, like, all the meat, as much meat as I could eat. And literally for breakfast, steaks. So, yeah, that's where I was coming from. And as a personal trainer, working amongst a lot of other people who I really respected in the industry, they were all eating the same way, man.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely did I meet someone who wasn't eating a lot of meat. And also, when I first became a trainer at Fitness First, the head trainer kind of thing, he showed me an article that said there's no such thing as a healthy vegetarian. And I didn't even read it. I just read the heading and I'm like, cool, I don't want to be a vegetarian. Right. I'm not going to look into that. It's not a possibility for me. I would never give up meat. Not even if it meant I live 30 more years. Nah, I'd just rather not. I'd just rather eat the meat kind of thing. That's how I was. So it was a long time that I had this misconception. And it was interesting because I'm telling people what to eat. And part of me knew that I didn't actually know what I was talking about. Right. I'm like, I try to eat lean meat and maybe just have egg whites instead of egg yolks and have low-fat dairy. And I just didn't know. I'm trying to, make good of an impossible to be good diet here, And don't get me wrong, some people smoke cigarettes, they live till 100. Some people eat meat, they live till 100. The point is that you're increasing your chances of disease, certainly, by consuming any animal products, including free-range, grass-fed, organic. They all have cholesterol. They all have saturated fat and a long list of other things that are causing people to be diseased and die young and need to get on pharmaceuticals and, other types of medication. So, what I learned, basically how I learned it was someone who I thought was very wise, who I met when I was working on a cruise ship, told me that eating animals is bad karma. And I said what I'd learned from reading that heading, which was just a heading. I didn't learn anything. But what I said was, oh, no, you can't be a vegetarian. It can't be bad karma. There's no good way to be on a vegetarian diet. You just can't for your health. And he said, I've been vegetarian for 20 years. And that was the first time that my bubble kind of burst. And I just went, what?
Right.
You can survive like that? What? You must just be a freak kind of thing, People can't survive like that. But this guy was so wise and I was so intrigued by him that I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try it for a week, see how I feel. Just basically cross it off the list so I never have to do it again. Just personal experiment, something fun to do. And I didn't eat meat for a week. And in that week I felt great and I was in the gym every day and I was just charging, man. I felt good. I enjoyed the food. And it kind of just got me thinking, what's going on? Is this a thing? I feel really good, actually.
Yeah.
So I looked more into it and see very quickly that not only can you be healthy on a vegetarian diet, you can also be healthy on a totally plant-based diet. And not only can you be healthy, you're likely to live longer, have less nutrient deficiencies, have less diseases. The only diet proven to reverse the number one killer in humans, which is heart disease, is a plant-based diet. So I'm starting to read all this and I'm just like, I was a very passionate personal trainer. I had cancer when I was 17.
Wow.
I got really sick for a long time, leukemia and lymphoma. And I nearly died, and that really pushed me into, being a personal trainer, helping others out of their suffering. I'd put on 25 kilos in that time. A trainer helped me lose it who I'd known from training in the gym. So that's why I became a personal trainer, and I was very passionate about people's health. I really, really did care a lot. So when I sort of stumbled onto vegetarianism as a possibility to help people, and I started thinking about people in my family and my friends who could be helped by this, I got my love for meat started not seeming quite as important as I thought it was. And I started seeing the value in cutting it out, which is huge, huge value. And then I watched a documentary called Earthlings, and that shows all the ways that humans exploit and torture and mutilate and murder animals legally, routinely, trillions of them every single year. So just numbers that we can't even fathom.
Yeah.
And then what I realized is we do all this violence, this horrific violence, a holocaust. We're putting them literally into gas chambers. We're chopping parts of their bodies off. We're slitting their throats. We're electrocuting them. We're chopping their heads off. It is actually something out of the worst horror movie you'd ever see.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, man, you know, how do I justify my contribution to this? Okay, when I thought that you needed to eat animals to be healthy, that's one thing. But I've just learned that we don't need to be healthy, and we can be healthier without eating animals. So why am I paying people to slaughter animals for me? And that was the question that just stuck in my mind. And I really wanted to find a good reason. So I delved deep into the health stuff. There must be some reason why I can't do this for health. Okay, maybe it's not environmentally good. Maybe this, maybe that. Maybe it's just as bad to eat plants. Maybe they feel just as much pain. Maybe I can just get free range and organic. And I'm just going through all these like, no, I don't want to give up meat ever.
Yeah.
Like, hang on a second. What's happening to me here? And I had no excuse. There's no justification to consume those products to pay for that horrific violence. And I always saw myself as a good person, so I had to change. I had to make it permanent, and it wasn't just that I had to change for myself. I actually just became instantly passionate about it.
Yeah.
I thought, how do I know about this? Me, like, you know, I'm not even an animal lover. I don't even really like animals.
Right.
I know all these animal lovers that eat animals every day and paying for these cows and pigs and chickens and fish have their throats slashed open every day. And they hate animal cruelty. Man, I need to tell people about this. People just somehow are unaware about this.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, that's pretty much what I've been doing ever since. Like, it took me a little while to go vegetarian. I was vegetarian straight off the bat overnight, and then it took me a while to go vegan because I actually had a bad eating disorder, which kind of stemmed from when I had cancer, and I was just overeating because first of all, I was so bored I had nothing else to do, but also because I was on a huge dose of steroids at the time as part of the treatment, and I just couldn't stop eating. So that's also why I put on a huge amount of weight and things like that. Anyway, so when I was trying to give up my favorite food, ice cream and chocolates and this and that, not realizing that there's vegan alternatives, or you can even make delicious ice cream out of just blending frozen bananas with a splash of soy milk.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. If I knew that recipe back in the day, man, I would have
You'd have been sold.
I'd have been loving it, man.
Yeah.
Kids should know that. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know that. But so it was hard for me to give up some of my favorite comfort foods that I was really, used a lot for emotional eating.
Yeah.
But one day I just made a vow to myself. I think this is really important to just say, all right, I've been going back and forth. I've been trying to be vegan, whatever that means, for a few weeks here and a few weeks there, and slipping up and allowing myself to just eat something if it's going to get thrown out. Or if, there's just a little bit of milk in it, a little bit of egg, I'm like, don't worry. But then I said, no, I want to make a stand here. I don't want the products of that torture in my body. I don't want to support that with my money or my actions. I don't want to condone it in any way. I am against this. Just like I'm against slavery, just like I'm against child abuse, just like I'm against abusing women, and just like I'm against animal abuse. So a little bit of child abuse is not okay. A little bit of animal abuse is also not okay. And that was it. So I made a date, January 1st, 2014. I said, from this day on, I will never knowingly consume another animal product. And that's what I've stuck to ever since.
Wow.
That was just over 6 years ago now.
Yeah. I think intentionally sort of having that all-in mentality is, I think, for a lot of people, the only way they need to go, because without that, it's a case of, any little thing can just be a slip up, and that slip up will, like anything, like a diet, like anything, you stop in training, whatever it may be, but any little thing can easily take you, further and further away from what your original intention was.
Absolutely. And that's the thing with diets. People get on and off diets all the time, man. People get on the vegan diet.
Right.
They stay on it because it's so much more than a diet. Like, food is a big part of it because it's a lot about what we're eating. But people don't find it hard to be vegan in a way that people find it hard to stick to a diet. Yeah. It sounds hard. It's like, I've always eaten these foods. I've always eaten meat. I've always eaten cheese. What am I going to do? And then it's daunting, but then when you try it, and like anything, it takes a little bit of time. You're not just perfect overnight.
Yep.
Just like anything, but it's so worth it. And you just put in that little bit of work at first. Okay, what am I going to have for breakfast? Maybe I'll have oats with some berries and some dates and some walnuts. Maybe I'll have scrambled tofu, which is like scrambled eggs. You just mash a big block of tofu with your hands, put a little black salt on there. It tastes just like tofu.
There you go.
Maybe I'll have some mushrooms on toast with avocado. Maybe I'll have some cereal with soy milk. Smoothies, like there's so many options, man. You can have pancakes. You can make pancakes out of blending banana and one banana 1 cup of soy milk and 1 cup of oats.
Yep.
That's the easiest
Super
pancake
simple.
recipe.
Yeah.
So delicious. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, when you just sort of figure out a few recipes here and there, and then you're good to go, man. You join some vegan Facebook groups online, see what they're eating, ask some questions if you're not sure. If you, let's say in Australia, you join like Sydney Vegans, or you join Vegans of Australia.
Yep.
And then it's like, what are the restaurants around here? What's in the supermarket? What vegan meat option is there that is a good one? Or I've heard some of the cheeses aren't that good. What's a good one? And people tell you. And you start figuring the apps out. You get the Daily Dozen app by Dr. Greger, and that tells you how to stick to the foods you need to eat each day in order to get every nutrient you need to thrive, be perfectly healthy. You get the Forks Over Knives app that shows you all the recipes you can make out of whole food, so a very healthy whole food app, and that's what I'd recommend people stick to, as little as the processed foods as possible, as much fruit, vegetable, nuts, grains, seeds, and beans as possible. I mean, limiting the nuts a little bit, and yeah, avoiding oils. That's pretty much it. And you can make pastas and pizzas and burgers and you name it. You can make burritos, you can make tacos, you can make cakes, you can make everything out of plants. So to use animals and to inflict so much suffering on them is just so redundant.
Right.
In 2020, it's insane that we still get food today. The vast, vast majority of people, 97%, let's say, to be generous to vegans, the vast majority of people in 2020, when we have iPhones and planes and incredible technology, and we're going to the moon and whatever, all we've done all these years, phenomenal technological breakthroughs. We're still getting food basically the same way as we did when we were caveman.
Right.
We're bashing an animal over the head as hard as we can until we break their skull and their brains all over the floor. We slash their throat open, we chop them up into pieces, and we cook them. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
And people don't even know who animals are, bro. That's like a huge part of it. Just like racism, white people thought they were so superior to black people that it was ethical to enslave them. It didn't matter because they were different. They were less than. And that's what we do with animals. It's speciesism.
Yep.
Just because they've got feathers or scales or wings or fur, we look at them and we think less than. They can't do... Look, they didn't make a microphone. What have they done lately? They done nothing. And what have they done? They've raised families and they've lived out in the wilderness and they do incredible things. They have fun and they play and they sing and they eat and sleep and breathe and talk to each other, and their heart beats and their brain thinks, and it's like, man, they're us. They're people in different bodies. So we're doing this to our own kind. Humans are animals too. We're doing this to our brothers and sisters, the most vulnerable, the most innocent amongst us. And people just don't get it. They just think, they're just birds. And yeah, that's what happened in the Holocaust. There's a good quote. It's actually on my arm. And it says, Auschwitz begins whenever someone looks at a slaughterhouse and thinks they're only animals.
Right.
And this quote here says, because the heart beats under a cover of feather, scales, wings, or fur, it is for that reason to be of no account. Just because their heart beats under something differently. We haven't learned from our mistakes of the past when it comes to animals.
That's right.
So we still got some evolving to do. And that's what veganism is. It's just the moral baseline. It's the least we should do. We shouldn't have slaves. We shouldn't also be non-vegans. Anything less than being vegan is intentionally causing unnecessary and totally avoidable harm, exploitation, suffering, enslavement, slaughter. That's anything less than being vegan. Being vegan isn't even that amazing. It's just a starting point of we don't deliberately cause avoidable suffering. We don't use someone against their will. There's a lot more you can do than be vegan, but that's a great starting point. If everybody just did that, man, the whole world would change. The climate crisis would be basically non-existent. Nowhere near the urgency as what we have now. And 74 billion land animals, sentient beings, 2.7 trillion sea animals wouldn't be getting murdered every year. So basically, like, you imagine that trillions of beings get murdered on planet Earth. This is a massive slaughterhouse, planet throat slit.
Yeah.
Imagine just not having trillions of extra murders every year. Be a much nicer world, man. Because it's not just about, is a nice world for you, is a nice world for me. It's what about the majority of inhabitants on the planet? And they're in hell. They're in hell being here because of us in their factory farms where 95% of animals come from. They're in literal hell. You couldn't even think of a worse time. Their mothers are raped so that they're born into existence through rape, separated from mother straight away. This is the dairy industry, right? The male calves, those little cute calves, are sent to slaughter because they don't produce milk, seen as a waste product, just absolutely worthless. The female cows, when they're old enough, they're forcibly impregnated, raped, obviously against their will, in a rack that cages them so they can't move. Human shoves their arm inside their anus, injects semen into their vagina. Like I said, takes their babies. They're used as milk slaves their entire life, milked every single day, impregnated every single year for 5 to 7 years until they are seen as a waste product as well because they're not producing much milk anymore. So they get slaughtered too. Same place where their babies got slaughtered for milk. Like, man, we can make milk out of soy milk or rice or almond or coconut or hazelnut milk. So yeah, it's just a beautiful time to be alive where we have these alternatives, literally to the point that we have meat alternatives that are identical to flavor and taste that you can get at local supermarkets, the most popular supermarkets in Australia. And, places like Hungry Jack's now and vegan KFC they've brought out in some parts of the world. Same with McDonald's. So the world's changing. But yeah, we need everyone on board ASAP, doing it properly, not just 90% vegan. It's like, just be vegan.
Yeah.
You don't have the right to take what's not yours from their bodies. And that's why veganism is the least we should do.
Yeah, so you don't really see a place there for people who want to sort of, I guess, gradually make that change, or even more so plant-based in terms of, okay, I'm going to be 80%, or I'm going to not worry about that little bit of cheese on my salad that came out of the restaurant. Well, where's your viewpoint there? I think...
No, I do see a place for that, actually. Right. I think that's going to be the vast majority of people, unfortunately, who reduce rather than eliminate, at least initially. And I'm also... Well, maybe that's not true. Maybe, maybe that's not true. Maybe most people will go vegan eventually. I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah.
I think most people will do it because it'll end up being more convenient and cheaper to be vegan. And the vegan option will be right next to the meat. And it'll taste the same, look the same, smell the same amount of protein, iron, calcium, whatever. No cholesterol, no saturated or less saturated fats, no cruelty, better for the environment. Like, people will just choose that. But will they have a vegan ethic of all beings deserve respect? Not necessarily. That takes time to foster and understand and put some jigsaw pieces together. But on the way there, man, whatever you got to do. Like, I don't want to say go vegan or don't do anything.
Right, absolutely.
No way. I'm just like, cool. Yeah. Okay, if the first thing you do, and this is literally the best step you can make, which I don't think it is, but some people are so far from it that let's just keep in mind, like, a worst case scenario. If someone is not going to do anything except for stop eating eggs once a week, I'm still going to support that choice. I'm still going to say, great job, you did something. Well done. I'm going to give so much praise. Oh, good job. I'm so grateful you did something. I know change can be hard. Like, I'd be so compassionate if I really felt like this person couldn't do anything else. Just too stubborn, too apathetic, too set in their ways, too conditioned. Cool, man. I'd appreciate anything at that point. I'd appreciate anything. But I don't think they have a right to stay there.
Yeah.
They should keep moving forward.
It's a progression.
And most people do. That's the beauty of it, because one good step forward has momentum then, and it leads to another step. And there aren't many steps to be vegan at all. That's why so many people are doing it, from young to old to, very educated to, not that educated, or just all the different spectrums of human nature. People can be vegan. That's the beauty. It's not exclusive at all. We don't just want to be a private club.
That's right.
It's for everybody, every religion, every race, everyone, every single person. So I think there's space for that, and that can come out in your advocacy. We want everyone to be vegan. Nothing less than being vegan ultimately is good enough when we all have this option to be able to do that. We shouldn't just have a bit of this or a bit of that. But some people want to go vegetarian first. Some people want to start with Meatless Monday. Some people want to cut out eggs, then they want to cut out dairy, then they want to cut out meat. Some people want to cut out all the food, but they still want to buy leather bags for a little while because they're really into fashion, for example. Some people want to go vegan for breakfast, then lunch, and then dinner over months or weeks. Some people do it over years. Man, if I could, I'd click my fingers, the whole world would be vegan right now. I can't do that. So I just encourage people to, first of all, vegan is the least we should do. Don't get comfortable being a vegetarian. That's not it. You're still contributing to so much unnecessary suffering and cruelty. And all you'd have to do is go from this to this at the supermarket to get soy, rice, almond, coconut, hazelnut, hemp milk, whatever, plant milk instead of cow's milk. It's not a hard choice. Keep going. And don't stop until you get to vegan. But if you need to, take your time getting to that, because I know it seems daunting, yeah, cool. Do what you got to do, man. I took a year to go from vegetarian to vegan. I didn't know what I know now, and I would never recommend people take that long, but yeah, you can understand why some people do. And yeah, it's just not something that I would recommend people do it however they can. I'd show them different ways, different paths that other people have done it, including vegetarianism, because that's a huge one. So many vegans went vegetarian first.
Yeah.
So I think that's great to let people know, here's a few paths you can get there. But I also think it's very important to keep in mind that you're not selling out on what you believe. You're not selling out on what the victims deserve. You know, they don't deserve, oh, well, what if they just have a good life before they get slaughtered? They don't deserve, what if we just slaughter them one day a week instead of 7 days a week? You know, what they deserve is to not be enslaved by us, to not be used as products and machines for us, to not be forced into gas chambers by us. You know, not even once a year. One sacrifice a year. No, none of that's okay.
Yeah. And I think, like yourself, I think I am one of those guys that is least likely to go vegan. You know, I grew up eating the standard sort of New Zealand Kiwi diet. Huge focus on dairy, meat, things like that. Same as the Australian.
Mm-hmm.
But then I really got into hunting in a big way.
Right.
So that was a massive passion of mine, and I never enjoyed the killing aspect. That was always hard for me because I was a massive animal lover. We had animals in the home. I felt for them and I could feel their hurt and anguish. But for some reason, I loved the idea of the adventure, the hunt, all these types of things. And then I got into training and, you know, bodybuilding and things like that. And then on came the more on the meat. It was like, you know, meat, chicken 3 times a day, you know, eggs. It was everything like that. And so I didn't even know what a vegan was. And I probably knew what a vegetarian was. But like you, if someone had shown me anything, I would have just dismissed it straight away.
Yep.
But for me, what really hit home was the animal ethics side of things, and actually witnessing, okay, what is happening on a real scale to these huge amounts of animals in a factory farm. And that was the thing that sort of, you know, it made me aware, right? But I feel like for a lot of guys specifically, and this is kind of what I want to touch on, is the sort of masculinity side. It's a really hard connection for them to make. And a lot of them maybe lack empathy or lack compassion. I'm not too sure. But what do you think the link is between masculinity and meat consumption?
Yeah, I think there can be a lack of empathy and compassion, because why would you be compassionate for someone who you don't think really matters? And that's part of the conditioning of our society. Animals are less than us. Fish don't feel pain. We do it humanely anyway, so don't worry about it too much. And there's a lot of brainwashing that goes along with these industries selling these products and making a profit. When it comes to this same idea, kind of as what you had, there's this idea that eating meat is manly. Maybe this picture we have in our mind of cavemen going out, killing an animal, lugging it back on our shoulders, throwing it down in front of the tribe or whatever. But man, there's nothing manly about killing someone, being cruel to someone who is so innocent and vulnerable as a child. I cannot get my head around it when hunters go out and feel like a badass when they are preying on someone who has no idea they're even in a line of target, who gets shot in the heart with a bow or with a gun or whatever it is. And it's like, that made you feel manly? Wow. That's absolutely, I see nothing. That's so far from manly. I don't even know how to put it into words. It's so cowardly. It's so weak. It's so, like, are you that fragile that for you to feel like a man, you need to go and kill someone, kill an animal so you feel tough? Like, that's bad, man. That is a very toxic mindset that is prevalent in our society. And then when you give up meat, oh, you pussy, you don't eat meat. Like, mate, me going to the supermarket and purchasing something off a shelf didn't make me tough in the first place. I just got to eat a lot of meat. Cool. Eating meat leads to erectile dysfunction. Are you going to feel manly then? And, you know, like, whatever. That's not even makes you a man either, whether your dick works or not. But I'm just saying, like, these things we have in people's head of making someone weaker than you suffer makes you manly, or that going and buying and eating heaps of meat on the barbecue makes you manly. It's like, bro, that man. What I would describe as manly is someone who is strong in their convictions, who aligns their actions with their values, who protects the innocent, who doesn't bully but will instead protect from bullies, you know, and is strong enough to take criticism from people, especially when you're doing the right thing and you know it. When I hear about guys who succumb to the peer pressure. Oh, my mates eat meat, so I just didn't want to go out with them, or they kept making fun of me. I'm like, who cares, bro? Are you kidding?
That's when you have to man up, is to
Dude, yeah, because it can be challenging, but it's like,
for sure.
So just take a joke, man. Like it's what you're eating doesn't make you a man or not, But your morals, your actions, more importantly, do determine the quality of your character. And if the quality of your character is to succumb to peer pressure, and that leads to torturing innocent little animals, you are far from what I would describe as a person of good moral character. Now, I guess some people just don't have the confidence and things like that. And man, you shouldn't have to feel confident to just do what's right. The most important thing that you should do is just what feels right in your heart. And if people are going to give you shit about that, they're not your people, man.
That's right.
Why do you want to chill with them anyway?
Right.
Find better people. There's a lot of people out there who will respect that. Like a lot of my friends are not vegan, and I don't come down hard on them. They know what I'm about. Like, they know exactly what I'm about. And a lot of them have made changes, and a lot of them have gone totally vegan, and some, just like it happens, take longer than others for whatever reason. The conditioning runs deep in people's minds in generations. But they don't come at me with shit. They come at me with, dude, I wish I could do what you're doing. Hopefully one day I will. I really respect your conviction, and I think it's really good what you're doing. Like, and it's because I'm solid in it. Yeah. I don't like, oh, what do you think if I'm vegan? I'm just like, of course I'm going to be vegan. This is the right thing to do, and you got to lead by example in a world that doesn't get it yet. So yeah, it takes. I guess at some points it takes you kind of being a leader, and sometimes that feels daunting, but you grow from that. You become more confident from that. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone makes you a better person, and then you can do more for the cause and whatever cause you care about, and your own tribe and yourself. Only good things come from you pushing your boundaries, and especially when those boundaries include you just becoming a more ethical, conscious, respectful, compassionate being.
Yeah, no, I've experienced exactly the same thing. It's like when you stand firm in those convictions, in your truth, people only have respect for you. They only have admiration for that. Mm-hmm. They may ask some questions, and that can lead to some interesting discussions. And I know that you've had many discussions with a lot of, specifically guys, hunters, things like that, around. Even there was an example I saw on your Instagram a little while ago, and you posted a story. I think it was a chef who had sent you a picture of a dead carcass in his restaurant, and said some kind of snide remark or whatever. I don't know if you remember this one.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Do you want to share the sort of because it's an interesting experience for people to watch you almost bring someone around to this idea from being completely anti and almost using this masculinity idea as like a front or as like an excuse, and saying, oh, I killed this beast, or I cut this up and I cook it. What was the example of say the guy in the restaurant, and how did you bring him around to sort of starting to understand the perspective of a plant-based diet?
A lot of people wonder why I bother engaging with people like this. They just, because they don't have the patience for it, and they get too emotional to talk to people like this. So it's and sometimes the best thing to do is to just not engage, because there's other people who are more interested. But me personally, I feel like I am very patient with people like this, and just I don't feel like I get rattled by their remarks so much. So I feel like these are excellent people for me to outreach, because they've come with so much hostility to me. They just DM'd me a dead animal and talk shit about animal cruelty, like fuck animals, good, I'm glad you're vegan, more for me. Right. Like shit, I don't know, but just, crude shit. And as soon as I read it, I'm just like, yes, this is going to be great. Yeah. Thank you for reaching out to me. The karma that you're going to get is after this conversation, going to be closer to wanting to be vegan than ever before in your life.
Just really quickly, how do these people actually find your content?
Dude, like, I just throw out so much content over the years, like thousands of posts and probably tens of thousands of stories, Insta stories that...
It just interests me that they're so anti-vegan, but yet they're seeing posts about veganism.
Yeah, well, sometimes I tag hashtag meat and shit like that. But, generally it's just pretty organic, man. And people, one of their friends likes a thing and they check it out. I don't know. I don't know
that's
exactly
great. I mean, it's awesome that they're seeing it, right?
So that's why I have like that's what it's for. It's not for the vegans.
That's right.
Sometimes it is, but majority of what I post is not for vegans. It's for vegans to share, but it's for the people who aren't vegan yet. And so anyway, he came at me with his shit, and I just got excited. I'm like, awesome. This person is not going to expect me to respond so kindly, so compassionately, so full of love. People laugh about this one. I always get reminded of this one. They're like, once someone messaged me and they wrote, "Hey, yo, grass-eating bitch." And I wrote back, someone like, "Hey, man, nothing but love for you. How can I help?" Or something like that.
I remember seeing that, yeah.
Yeah, and I always come back just full of love. I'm not going down to that level. No productive conversation is going to happen if I respond with a similar vibe. Sometimes I still do and like try to turn it around later. It just depends on the person. But basically what I'm doing, when I'm reading things from people, a lot of what they say, I'm just skimming over. I'm not reading those words. I'm looking for what is this person's sticking point? What myth does this person believe? What brainwashing do they still hold in their head? Probably tons.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? I don't care about all those words like bitch and talking about cruelty and shit. I'm like, cool. This person's like, they're invested in the conversation because they put in all this energy into like hating on me. So I'm like, cool, you're invested. You're going to get into a back and forth with me. Otherwise, if you didn't care, you wouldn't have randomly DM'd me some hate out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, you're invested. And what is your issue here? So then I'll just respond back and forth, just like, nothing but love for you. What's up? And they'll be like, oh, vegans think this. And I'm like, well, actually, the fact is, so you know that this is what we believe. And like, well, vegans can't be healthy. I'm like, well, the leading nutrition and dietetics associations all around the world agree that a vegan diet is perfectly healthy for all ages, all walks of life, every nutrient you need, live long, reduce disease. Like, I don't know, I'm just going to go with all the experts actually on this one and the scientific consensus that it's perfectly healthy for humans. In fact, it's the favorable diet for the human body and everyone can thrive on it. Oh, well, what about this and what about that? And I just go back and forth. And for me, I'm just like, okay, I see this person's list of objections and I'm going to do everything I can to cross off as many of them as possible.
Yeah.
And when they've run out of objections, because I'm not responding to their shit. Like, they're throwing shit at me at the same time. But yeah, I don't care about that. And that really rattles people because they expect someone to retaliate, get defensive.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm here just purely for your evolution into a vegan ethic. So, and to get you to this point, to move you forwards in this path, I just need to know what your beliefs are, because they're wrong. Whatever you believe that makes you think that being vegan is wrong and eating animals is right, you are incorrect. I assume with pretty much every person that comes at me that I've studied this more than they have. I've been obsessed with this topic for over 6 years.
Yeah.
Like, I just assume that this is all coming from the same type of brainwashing, conditioning, baseless information, and reading a headline here and there that I had. And so, and that's what I find with people, that when you really question people, everybody's against animal cruelty. Everybody's against unnecessary suffering. Everybody wants to be healthy. Everybody wants to eat delicious food. And when people realize that, so all that is vegan, after a while, they're just like, okay, wow, I actually appreciate you talking to me. Sorry I came out with you being such a dick. I was like, don't worry about it, man. It happens all the time. It's all good. I just wanted to help you out as one fellow earthling to another. I'm here for you. And if you've got any more questions, hope you go vegan really soon. And then that chef in particular, he messaged me back. I'm like, because I just also throw a few challenges in there for people. Like, well, you won't watch this documentary. You should watch it if you really think, or
right.
you think that food's good that you cook. You pride yourself on being a good chef. Why don't you make steak out of plants? See how good you are. I know a lot of chefs that do that. Do you think, you think you're such a mad chef? Make a good seitan steak and send me a photo of it, and they'll do shit like that.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that was good. How was it? Oh man, it was actually delicious.
Yeah.
Should make more. Should be a vegan chef, bro. There's a big demand for that, and man, just flow with it like that. And I want to make friends. Like, I don't want this person to have hostility in their heart towards me or vegans or anyone. So I'm just trying to like put water out on this fire, I just thoroughly enjoy it, man, because everyone that has a conversation with a vegan just gets a little bit closer to, their own actions changing, and it's really the individual actions of us all that makes or breaks things, makes it happen or makes it end. We're so powerful with our choices. It's so that's why we're seeing so much change right now. That's why we're seeing vegan options popping up all over the world. I read at about 2 a.m. this morning that Starbucks are trying to completely phase out dairy.
Wow.
Completely phase out dairy for environmental reasons. Never a mention of cruelty. They never want to talk about the actual victims of these industries.
That's right.
It's very interesting. But,
that's a good point to touch on, though, James, is that it seems that most people, when they decide to give plant-based a go or veganism a go, it's from a different angle than the animal ethics side. Like,
Sure.
For example, we've had the Game Changers come out recently. I can't even tell you the amount of messages I had from people going, this is day 1. I'm on day 7 now of going vegan after watching the Game Changers.
Yeah.
However, they don't really touch on the animal welfare. And for me, that is the number one. However, for I think, a lot of people, why do you think it is that they don't really, I guess, jump on for that reason? However, I feel because it's such a stronger conviction, the ones that do decide to choose plant-based or veganism because of a animal welfare idea initially, they're going to be a little bit more firm, or a lot more firm in their choice and their conviction. And it's not an either or; it's an only. But when you're doing it for health reasons or environmental, it's it's less likely that someone's going to be so true to their viewpoint.
Absolutely, and that's why a lot of people say, I'm plant-based, but for me, I would never. The definition of a plant-based diet may sometimes include some animal products, small amounts. That isn't plants, so I don't call that a plant-based diet personally.
Yeah,
but maybe we should change that to a plant-only diet.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason why most people don't connect with the animal ethics initially, I'd say the biggest reason is because they've been taught they need meat for protein, dairy for calcium, eggs for omegas, and so they don't think it's healthy, the optimal diet, so they don't bother. They have an excuse not to care about the animals. Like, no, yes, maybe it's sad, maybe they feel sad, but I am a human and I need to eat animals to be optimally healthy, and I don't believe I need to feel guilty about that. I can't help how I am, how humans are. So I think that's what stops people, but I totally agree. And that's what got me started, It was all about health initially. Huge starting point for the vast majority of people, and a really important thing to keep in mind when you are advocating, even if what you care mostly about or even almost entirely about is animal ethics. It's a huge help for people to understand that what they thought was wrong, and they can get protein, dairy, calcium, iron, omegas, everything they need from plants.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's important, man. But I do both. I show I do everything I can.
Yeah.
Bro. Like I do funny stuff. I show people funny memes. I show recipes. I show meat alternatives. I show the graphic slaughter. I show cute animals at slaughterhouses. Health benefits. Environmental, like everything. There's just so many reasons to be vegan. So I reckon just put it all out there and people will resonate. And the beauty of what we've got today is social media, where you can reach so many people with any thought you've got instantly.
Yeah.
Mate, what a blessing for the movement.
Yeah.
Because, so you can post all of that stuff, everything, like, I've got one shot at this. It's like, no, you got as many shots as you want every single day to just put a message out there to share with the world. And then you have sometimes a video will get seen 100 times, which is amazing. Don't scoff at that.
Yeah.
For 100 people to hear something, that's generally a hard feat to organize, and to get 100 people in a room who actually give a shit to care. That's hard.
Yeah.
You get 1,000 views, man, that's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And then 1,000 views is actually easy to get, You might get 10 million views. I've had a bunch of videos that have got over 10 million views. And yeah, that's the power of social media. And I have no editing skills, and I don't know. You just put content out there, and every now and then something will really resonate, and you just keep being consistent, and it's just that one thing that might spark that shift in somebody. And I think that's the job of everybody who knows. Einstein said, those who have the privilege to know have the duty to act. The beauty is we don't have to go fight a war. We can inspire so much change, influence so many people in bed, doing a post on our phone, sharing some other people's work, a speech, a documentary, a recipe.
Yeah.
Man, beautiful. And like, obviously there's a lot of other things that need to happen as well. We need direct action, I believe. We need people storming slaughterhouses and factory farms. We need, all kinds of everything.
Yeah.
Every action you can think of. What's happening is a very urgent situation. And so,
do you think there's any activism of sorts that is ineffective?
Ineffective.
Because I mean, you do a lot of the, you do storm the slaughterhouses, and you're in there and you're doing these vigils, and it's very graphic. And even I saw someone comment on one of your photos this morning saying, "Oh, I wish I could dislike this photo because I don't want to see it." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Do you think that is a form of ineffective activism?
So effective, man. Most people, people change over time. They learn this fact, they learn that fact, they cross this bit of conditioning off their list, kind of thing. But the thing that I read when I'm reading comments, people being like, whoa, okay,
yeah,
I get it now. I'm changing. That's when it's graphic. That's when there's some graphic abuse happening. People have to be like, whoa.
Yeah, it's in your face.
And then people say, please censor it. Censor all these vegans. Please censor it. It's like, it always gets censored. You want an animal rights activist to censor it as well?
Right.
Instagram already going to censor it.
Right.
Everyone censors animal cruelty. And look at the milk carton. Look at the packages of meat. Do they show you the slaughterhouse, or do they show you this cartoon cow in a grass meadow? It's censored completely from people. So no, we shouldn't censor it. I get it. And look, I appreciate that some people censor it too, because that's just another approach. They go, warning, graphic content. Cool. I'm glad people do that, because people will follow them instead, and they can choose if they want to see it. And there's a lot of benefits for that. But to only have that, and to not also have people who are willing to just share the brutal, ugly truth, regardless of the, we know, it's sad. Some people are going to see it. Some vegans that follow my stuff are going to see it, and they're going to be sad by that, traumatized even. But yeah, they're going to have to unfollow, because I'm not going to stop doing that, because I don't believe that's right. I don't believe that's the right thing to do by the animals. For me personally, if someone else wants to choose, I never post the graphic stuff. I'm like, mate, do you? There's room for it all. Choose what works best for you. For me personally, I tried to mimic other activists who came before me who were highly effective, and it didn't work for me, man. I didn't have good results. I'm not them. I'm not as aggressive. It's just not my character.
Right.
So I ended up working with who I was.
Yep.
And that is what worked best for me. And yeah, I have good results. I'm happy with my results.
Yeah.
So someone else could try to mimic me and it not work for them, and it's just be true to you. Try to take what does work from people. See, me personally, sometimes you need to speak to someone very firmly. Totally different approach.
Yeah.
And that's why someone else might be better to speak to that person. So yeah, but still, just stay true to you and stay true to the animals and the message, and hopefully, the right people will come by your path. And even if they don't go vegan when you speak to them, which is what we want, I got 20 minutes, so I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. You should be vegan by the end of this. And people are like, nah, and maybe not for 2 more years or 10 more years or whatever. So it's not your job to force someone to go vegan. You can't.
Yeah.
Your job is just to plant the seeds.
You plant the seed, yeah.
And water them if you can, and hopefully they grow and people figure it out.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like some of the vigils you go to, the slaughterhouses you go to, and even the footage you put up affects you on an emotional or mental level to the point where you have to step away from it? Is that something you deal with?
Oh yeah, of course. Man, I've felt like hell many times, and you know how it presents to me. For example, I was just in Bali a couple of months ago, and my last 3 days of the trip, I spent 3 nights in a slaughterhouse on the kill floor, just basically right there with them. I didn't need to hide what was happening. I was there to film.
Yeah.
And we hit a little bit. We told them that we do a similar job in Australia. We just wanted to see how it was. But I was there 3 nights in a row, literally just filming the killing, doing lives from inside and all this kind of stuff. And I felt fine for the most part when I was in there. I was there to do a job, and I was in work mode, and I was doing what I could do, kind of thing. And I kind of was shocked by that. I was a little bit scared of myself. I'm like, fuck, man, don't you feel? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
That freaked me out. Fuck, what's wrong with me? I'm so numb, after all this cruelty for years and just the conditioning of my past. I hate that I'm not in a heap on the ground crying. That's how I feel like I should feel. But okay. But what happened? So yeah, for some, your mind, I don't know how it works, but because if you did feel really what was happening, good luck getting out of bed. You just kill yourself.
Yeah.
You feel the suffering of all of them. yeah, man, you don't want to be around. And I know people who really, really struggle with the reality of what they've woken up to and what's happening, and seeing meat on their mum's plate, for example. And for me, yeah, at the end of this, I got really nervous because not only was I in the slaughterhouse, for 3 nights, but I didn't really sleep. I didn't sleep for 2 of those nights, and I barely slept for the 3rd night, because after being in there, I got thousands of messages from people asking me about it, talking about it. What's this? What's that? How do I share this? So it was, yeah, a huge amount of work, and then to go back in, and it was very, very, very tiring and exhausting, and really, really drained me. For the next month, I've been on social media for 7 years almost, posting almost every single day.
Wow.
For the next month after that, like once it would kind of, died down and everything, okay, that footage is a couple of weeks in the past now. I literally couldn't even think about veganism, man. I've never had this before. If I didn't want to think about the word, I didn't want to think about animals, I definitely could not write a caption. I couldn't write one. I don't want to post, because then I'm going to have to interact and think about it, and I just can't. And I felt really bad, because I'm like, shit, man, what's happening? Am I losing my passion? Do I still care about this? Like, I cared so much just the other day. What's happening? I didn't understand. I was freaking out about it, because I felt sad for them. I was like, fuck, they need everyone.
Yeah.
And I've been influencing a lot of people. I don't want them to lose me. I'll go with the flow of where my life direction, my calling goes, but I feel very bad if it isn't to continue assisting the animal rights movement and helping animals. And cause, yeah, that's what I've been effective at, and I didn't want to stop that for them, but it freaked me out. And I didn't post for the longest time I've ever not posted for, which is about 3 weeks. A few stories here and there, but literally nearly nothing. And yeah, I didn't want to be on my phone. I was also just that whole social media vibe. But I'm so grateful, man. I just thought, okay, maybe maybe it's a bit of trauma from what you've just witnessed. Animals, pigs will look in you in the eyes. These little babies looking you in the 6-month-old, looking you in the eyes, pleading, like screaming, crying, and then they get electrocuted or they get stabbed, and it's just like, really intense.
It's going to take a toll.
It took a fucking toll, of course. Yeah. Like, fuck, it took a massive toll. And yeah, for weeks I've never been like that, but I felt bad, but I just didn't want to think about any of it, man. And I still did, obviously, and I still try to do other work, and I was so grateful that eventually, and I just gave myself the time, like, you probably just need a break, just relax, like, don't worry, it's just a few weeks. Like, if you can't go a few weeks over Christmas without posting, like, everyone takes time off, man. Everyone takes a holiday.
Yep.
You should be able to go a few weeks. And my friends that was basically my friend's voice saying, dude, you can take a few weeks, just relax. You've done so much, don't worry. I'm like, all right, yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll just take a couple of weeks. I'll just mend and I just want everyone to know, like other activists and other vegans, that it's okay to take a break. This job isn't just on your shoulders; it's on many shoulders. We can carry the load. If you need a break, if you feel like this, if you feel like you're burning out, take time. Self-care. This is a sad, horrific, violent, cruel, ugly issue, man. And you come up against a lot of apathy in the people that you think are supposed to care, and it can drain on your heart, dude. Yeah. It's heavy. I didn't expect to be focused on cruelty for so many years, like, and just watching torture and suffering. That's not what I wanted in my life, But like, yeah. So anyway, I was so grateful because, I started being like, oh, maybe I could do a post. Like, I'll have a look, and then I started just getting back into it, and I feel now like, man, I just want to do everything. Like, I just want to post like 30 things on my story and posting all the time and making videos and getting really good views, and yeah, I just needed that break, dude. Yep. And I came back with a vengeance, because now I've processed what I've seen and been through, and I have that like imprinted on my heart, and my conviction is stronger, and the break gave me time to recharge, and I got full energy again. So yeah, man, like, it's bound to happen, with any job, but especially one that's so traumatic. And
it's that self-care, man. You've got to have that level of self-care, and it's even, I relate that back to training. We take a deload from certain training cycles that we do in order to recover and then come back stronger and be able to hit it at a new level. Yep. It's very much the same. It's that you're taking time out to come back and with like you said, a new vengeance for it.
Yeah.
So just to switch gears a little bit then, for yourself, is there anything physically you do now? Are you training? I know you like to surf. Are these things that you do to take time out and relax and to keep yourself healthy and fit?
Yeah, it's been a really, for the first 4 years of my activism, I literally didn't do anything in terms of self-care. Or I did some meditation, actually, but physical activities, things I enjoyed, that was out the window, man. I was just shot into it and just went really, really hard for the first 4 years. The second, and my goal, my life intention at that time was to do everything I can to contribute to making this world a kinder, more peaceful place for us all to live. So it was a clear intention, and it really didn't have a lot for me in there. And after 4 years, I was like, okay, I think I can just settle down a little bit and have some more time for me. I kind of need to. So my intention changed to, I want to do as much good as I can for the world, help as many people go vegan as possible, do as much good as possible, basically, while also having as much fun as possible and enjoying my life, because I'm going to be dead one day soon as well, you know. And yeah, I also want to enjoy the precious gift of being alive on Earth, especially for someone, you know. I'm so grateful. I have so much opportunity. I have so much privilege. I'm so lucky, man. And yeah, I want to do both now. I want to enjoy my life, and part of that is because me enjoying my life is good for the animals. When I put content online that isn't about animal cruelty, people who don't care about animal cruelty might care about me going for a surf or going for a skate or, you know, whatever. So it's partly, a big part of it is strategy as well. That's just how social media works, and that's where main part of my activism is. But the things I enjoy doing, I love surfing, man. And this is what I do more of now. I've got an electric skateboard. I love turning town into my skate park at like 10 o'clock at night and putting music in and just boosting around the streets, carving up like on a snowboard.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I've got a beautiful girlfriend. We talk a lot. We're constantly communicating, just talking about life and chilling and, you know, doing fun things together. And I try to see my friends, although that's been really hard over the last 6 years. We live out of a bag. I've been doing it for 6 years. She's been doing it with me for 2. So I'm excited to try to settle down a bit more and create a bit of a community and have a friend group again and things like that. I think that's all going to, just add to a more complete package of my life, which I think overall will, ultimately impact my activism in a positive way. And
having community in your life is just absolutely essential. And obviously you can have community online when you're traveling around the world, but it's just not, it doesn't have that essence of like being established somewhere, having a friends group, having family, having things that you go to on a regular basis. And, and you
routine.
You've got routine and you feel purpose within that community as well. I think is super important.
Very true, man. And I'm really craving. I'm really looking forward to that. And
so what's 2020 looking like for you then, bro?
Still a busy year. I'm hoping to reach millions of people with the vegan message, basically. That's going to come in different forms. And, a lot of it's going to be videos from speeches I've done and from slaughterhouses I've been to and from different actions and conversations I have with people on the streets, debates that I find interesting, different products and documentaries that are coming out. I'll share everything that I think might plant a seed in someone to help them go vegan. And in terms of personal life, I've got more plans to visit Bali because I can get into the slaughterhouse there.
Right, yeah.
I've got some speeches booked, which I'm really excited about because they're to entirely non-vegan audiences. I'll be speaking at some vegan festivals about activism and how we should all get active, not just be vegan. And I'll also be looking for somewhere to settle down, and I'm thinking maybe the Gold Coast in Australia so that I can continue surfing. I really want to learn how to break dance.
Cool.
I really want to get into my training. I've just healed a neck injury that I've had since I had cancer when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
I've just realized that it was from that time, and that gave me the path to heal it. So I'm incredibly excited to continue. I've started training again. I'm incredibly excited to keep training and smash it and show people what can be done on a vegan diet. And bro, just that kind of thing. It's
a big point because people do look at you and they don't see the typical, well, not the typical, they don't see the stereotype of what a vegan is.
Totally. Yeah, and that's a big part of what I try to, I don't want to post photos of me online and shit, to be honest, bro. I don't want to post photos of me shirtless and things. But who cares? I know,
but I think it's so actually pretty effective.
Of course it is. They're some of my most engaged with posts.
Yes,
because people share it and they're like, think vegans can't get enough protein and all that shit, and I don't even look that good. I'd like to put on another 10 kilos of muscle or something. But you don't even need to because the stereotype is so weak and skinny and sickly that anyone who isn't that is good to be like, yo, here's another healthy, thriving vegan, just a normal person like you, goes to the gym a bit and does some surfing. It's like, oh, I'm one of those kind of people. Maybe I should be vegan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so good, man. And I'm going to link your website and stuff in the show notes for you. I just had a look on there last night, and there's a lot of good content on there already. And I think you've even got the whole Dominion,
I think so,
film on there, which is Another one, a must view.
Must watch.
I think, and because specifically that film is filmed in Australia, am I right?
Yep.
There's a lot of parallels for New Zealand there as well, and for some of our listeners that are in New Zealand.
Yes, there is.
Quite often the excuse is, New Zealand's not like that,
Oh, yeah, that's always the excuse. But what do they think happens in slaughterhouses? Animals laugh to death?
Yeah.
They get tickled to death or something?
Yeah.
No, man. They get murdered.
Yeah.
How do you think, what is a humane murder to somebody? Can you imagine a way to kill someone against their will that is nice? Like, okay, let's say you killed them in their sleep. It's still immoral to take someone's life against their will. Just put a human in that context. But the animals don't even go to sleep. They're awake. They're aware. They're hearing screams. They're smelling blood. They're locked in a little cage after a life of abuse. The guy's got a gun.
Yeah.
You know they're getting murdered. I just watched a video this morning of a cow who was stuck in a small crate. She couldn't turn around or anything. Just going crazy now. Just get me out of here. Get me out of here. Just looking around, just so scared. And this guy's just with the gun, just waiting for the right time to just go bang.
Yep.
And man, they suffer. It ain't just like, boom, sleep.
Yeah.
A lot of the time the bolts don't work. A lot of the time animals are still alive after the electrocution or the gas.
Is that right?
And even if not, that experience of getting a bolt gun through their head, which is just a stun gun, not a kill weapon, or getting electrocuted or getting gassed, that alone is horrific. People want to think that the gas chambers, people support and try to defend gas chambers. It doesn't get much closer of a parallel to the Holocaust than that.
No, absolutely.
But people still want to defend it because it's said to be the most humane method of stunning animals. And you watch that footage.
You watch it. Yeah.
Watch it. See how they react to being gassed to death in their little cage. You won't see suffering like it. They are thrashing because they're burning from the inside out, and they're terrified, and they feel their life force being taken from them and being extinguished, and they respond just how you would respond in there. And if you wouldn't like it done to you shouldn't do it to them. That's all veganism is. It's extending the golden rule. The golden rule is to treat others the way that you'd want to be treated, and animals count as others. They're people too, just in different bodysuits. So that's all it is. People think, vegan's so extreme. No, not being vegan is so extreme. Extremely cruel, extremely violent, extremely environmentally destructive, extremely unhealthy. Extremely unnecessary today.
That's right. It's seen the footage and seen, for me, to go from vegetarian to vegan, the one thing that did it was seeing the footage of a mother cow actually running after the quad bike with the trailer and her calf in it, running down the fence line. I've never seen a cow run like this before. And that made me, it switched. It made me realize, okay, that they're not just animals. They have these insane amount of feelings. They have empathy. They have compassion.
Of course.
They love, right?
Yes.
And they're completely sentient. And that for me was the biggest thing. And it's just watch some of this footage. Just see a cow and its eyes when it knows it's going into a slaughterhouse. They're not oblivious.
Yeah, they're not just cruising in willingly. They are fighting every step of the way.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And it's it's a tragic event that can end very soon, and it's exciting because I feel like the world is moving that direction, and this is becoming so much more normal, and more people like you and me and more famous people and celebrities and more sports people and athletes. It's something that's really taking over, and good. It's the right thing. It's exciting.
Yeah, so you're feeling pretty positive about where the movement's going right now in 2020?
I'm feeling really positive, bro.
Awesome.
To be able to go to Coles and Woolworths and get vegan cheese, vegan milk, vegan butter, vegan prawns, vegan chicken schnitzels, man, come on. Everyone's going to be getting it soon. It's just a matter of time. And I think the climate emergency is really pushing the movement forward, and I'm really grateful for that. People should be scared. I've just been listening to a book. I wish I could remember what it was called. Yeah, but it's basically what's going to happen when we do reach a 2-degree temperature rise, and that's a low forecast. What about 3 degree?
Right.
And the world is going to be, so fucking bad.
Yeah.
I've been listening to it and I was like, that might be where some of my regained passion has come from, because after hearing what the state of the world and the millions of people that are going to suffer and be displaced, the cities that are going to go underwater, the challenges we're going to face in terms of 50 times more bushfires than we're seeing right now, way more acidification in the ocean and destroyed reefs, and oh man, like the list is just insane. And yeah, this is our home. We can't fix it. Once we get to a point, it's an irreversible, catastrophic situation. We might get there anyway, but at least if we all just was like, yo, we should all just collectively, as a society, as humanity, for so many reasons, even if it was just for starving children, instead of feeding so much food to animals that give us a 16th of what we take, like we give them 6 to 12 times the amount of food than what we take from them. Instead of, if all we did was go vegan as a collective society so that we had a huge surplus of food that we could feed every single hungry mouth in the world with, that would be a great, noble, collective humanity, society together thing we should do. But actually, we need to do it because the people who aren't doing it are going to be the ones suffering soon as well, whether it's from heart disease or whether it's because they have to their environment drastically changes and they can't exist in their home anymore, in their country anymore, in their city anymore. It's a massively serious crisis that we're faced with. 97% of climate scientists agree that this is a real thing. Some people are still holding on to this idea. Nah, it's just fake. It's like, okay, maybe. Like, you got 3% that agree with you, but 97% of people, of scientists, experts in this field, disagree, and they've given us 11 years as of last year to do something massive, or otherwise we will see irreversible, catastrophic climate change.
Yep.
And we're all just like, just fuck, does that not shake people up?
Yeah.
And it doesn't, bro, because they're just like, someone else will fix it. And what we're trying to tell everyone is, no one else can fix it. If you don't change and we all don't do it collectively, it doesn't get fixed. At least at this point, there's no amazing technology that's going to fix it. This is the direction we're going. Something drastic has to change. And everyone getting on a plant-based diet would be, the United Nations have said that's one of the best, if not the best thing that an individual can do to assist in this catastrophe. Eat a plant-based diet. Eat amazing, delicious vegan food and not contribute to animal suffering and live longer and not get heart disease. Whoa.
So many wins.
Oh, why would I do that? Nah. Man, come on.
Yep.
So easy. It's such a no-brainer. But yeah, anyway, people get there when they get there. I just hope it's tomorrow. And like, people prioritize this right at the top of their list. And be like, yeah, how do I be vegan? And you're going to realize it's not that hard. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Don't
be so daunted by it. Just ask vegans, join vegan Facebook groups. Look up, how do I go vegan online? Join challenge22.com. It's a free 22-day vegan challenge where you get mentored the entire way. There's just so many ways to go vegan. Start, choose plant-based milks, have beans instead of meat. Start trying tofu and tofu dishes. It's like meaty texture. Get the firm one. Make ice cream out of frozen bananas and a bit of soy milk. There's just so many little things that you can do to change, but really the list is pretty short.
Yeah.
And when you've got a few breakfast meals, a few lunch meals, a few dinner meals, after that, then you're like, all right, being vegan is actually easy. I feel so good. The food's actually amazing. Should have done this sooner. And that's what every vegan says. Why didn't I go vegan sooner? Should have done it years ago. So yeah, we're just waiting for everybody else to get on board and realize that this is an evolution of our lifestyle, an evolution of our consciousness, of our ethics, of our food choices. It's just a massive positive evolution. We don't need to eat like cavemen anymore.
Yeah. And sadly, it does seem to take something drastic, something tragic to create urgency within people. For example, the recent bushfires in Australia. I've received a lot of messages of people about the statistics going around about the amount of animals that have perished in the fires in comparison to the amount of animals that are slaughtered in 2 days. And that's really woken some people up. And sadly, we don't want those types of tragedies to be happening in the first place, but it is a positive spin for that onto people transitioning into a vegan diet.
Absolutely. There's a lot of little things that will pop up like that for people, but yeah, don't just let it pop up and be like, okay, I should try a vegan recipe this week. Maybe next time I go to a restaurant, I'll get a vegan restaurant. Maybe next time I get a Domino's pizza, I'll get a vegan pizza. Or better yet, I need to be vegan. I get it. It's the right thing to do. Okay, I'm going to dedicate this week, in my spare time, a little hour here, a little hour there, to just learning what I need to learn. And literally, you will figure it out quick because it's really not complicated. vegankit.com, how do I go vegan.com. There's so many. Just look up any website, how do I go vegan?
Yeah.
And you will figure it out, and you'll be so grateful that you did.
I love it, man. So good. So just to finish up here with you, James, bro, it's been a really good discussion. I'd love to just fire some quick questions at you, bro.
Cool.
So the first one is, do you have a favorite music artist right now that you listen to? Favorite song? What do you listen to when you're skating?
I've been listening to Chet Faker Blush a
there
lot
you
the
go.
last few days, but I've also been obsessed with Sampa the Great.
Okay.
And her song Energy.
Cool.
Oh, dude.
I'll check it out.
I've listened to it like 1,000 times this year. It's so
It's
good.
still good.
Yeah.
So good. Okay, favorite eating spot?
Favorite eating spot?
Yeah, it can be worldwide because I know you've done a lot of travel.
I would have to say... I'd probably have to say... Whew, I feel bad because there's so many people who I'm tight with who own vegan restaurants. I'm like,
Yep.
I love Vietnamese vegan places. They do like the vegan curry. You know, it'll be like a delicious curry with delicious like vegan chicken or stuff like that. Like rice paper rolls with tofu. I love all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And there's a place in Sydney called Venus. That is an amazing restaurant. I love going there. Like just chill, super cheap, and
do they do a
amazing
good banh
food.
mi or
They do a what?
a banh mi?
What's that?
Vietnamese baguette, which is like, it's usually like a pork baguette with like a bit of spices and stuff. And I had it heaps when I was in Vietnam.
I don't know, bro.
Little like side street food, man.
What, you got vegan ones in Vietnam?
No,
Oh,
this is
okay.
before I was vegan.
I don't know. I'll
Yeah.
suss it out next time I'm there. I don't know if I've seen that.
It's a big thing. It's like trying to find the best vegan banh mi.
Yeah,
There's a lot of blogs on it, man.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I also love. There's a place in Sydney called Gigi's. They were just a normal pizzeria, you know, selling animal products and dairy cheese and things like that. And then they closed their doors and they reopened vegan.
Love it.
And started. It was one of the most popular places in Sydney.
Wow.
And they started smashing it even harder, dude. Everything vegan.
Insane.
They have incredible pizzas, bro. So yeah, I love. And the dudes there are just total champions.
Yeah, I just had Red Sparrow the other night in Melbourne. Have you been there?
Nah.
Insane, all vegan pizza restaurant.
Actually, I have
Unbelievable,
like
man.
so many good restaurants.
Yeah,
in my head
they're all
now.
popping up.
Yeah. There's so many, man, and that's the beauty. You know, you can get every cuisine you want,
Anything you
vegan
want.
version, and and it's so much more fun to eat it. You're like, whoa, this is vegan meat. Like, what's this one going to be like? It's a little bit different than the last one, whereas steak is always pretty much steak
Same
and pretty
thing.
much chicken breasts but all the different flavors in the vegan chicken and it's exciting because you're like, man, this is plants and it's healthy and the eating experience becomes way more enjoyable
So
because
true.
it is a different eating experience.
Yeah.
You're not eating a corpse anymore.
Mhm.
You're just eating plants, and it's a good meal for the world, not a horrific meal for the world. And like the joy of eating definitely increases.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, not favorite, but a book everybody should read.
A book everyone should read would have to be The World Peace Diet by Dr. Will Tuttle.
Okay.
That's vegan related, but fire, man. That is like the most, wow. It is like it's written by an extraterrestrial. It is so incredibly beautifully written. It's like reading, oh my God, man. It's just, I don't know how to put it into words. He's just nailed it. He's nailed the like spiritual aspect of what we do collectively as a society when we eat meat, and then it goes through every single all the health, all the environment, exactly what happens to animals. It's just the Bible, in my opinion, for veganism. Everyone should read that. It's a great book. It's also an audio book, and you can download it for free on his website.
Oh wow.
And also just nothing to do with veganism, I really enjoyed Eckhart Tolle's book A New Earth, and also The Power of Now. They just helped me live more in the moment and not get so caught up in my thoughts in my head and not believe a lot of these thoughts. They're just records stuck on repeat. And I feel like that's brought a lot of joy into my life, as has the book The Power by Rhonda Byrne, which teaches you how to be positive and grateful, which are two very powerful forces and states of being to exist in that bring a lot of good to you, and your intentions, I believe, more swiftly manifested and things like that. So yeah, that helped me a lot as well. And then just in terms of my eating disorder, the best book I ever read was End Emotional Eating by Dr. Jennifer Tates.
Yep. I think I even saw that downstairs on your...
Yeah, it is. It's, I was so deep into a bad eating disorder with bulimia, and I didn't realize the problem, man. I'm like, am I addicted to sugar? What the hell is wrong with me? And what I realized is I was emotional eating when I... Any reason. I never ate when I was hungry. I ate when I was tired. I ate when I was bored. I ate when I was procrastinating. I ate when I felt sad. I ate when I felt happy. Like, I was just emotional eating. When I learned that was the reason, I thought back on a lot of the clients I'd had over the years, and I think that was a big reason why they struggled with food as well, and I think the vast majority of people do. We use food as a drug more than as a way to sustain us. At least the vast majority of people, I would say, do.
No, it's very true.
Yeah, that was a really good one too.
Wow, man, some really good ones there. I'll have to link all of those, man.
They're excellent books.
One person you think everyone should follow?
That's a great question. Well, a lot of the people listening to this will be health oriented.
Yep.
I think that a lot of people probably will be into bodybuilding, things like that. There's a great Instagram. It is at vegan bodybuilding food.
Yep.
Lots of great high protein meal ideas there. Another person I think people should follow would be Dr. Gregor from nutritionfacts.org, or go straight to nutritionfacts.org, and there's a search feature. You have a question about B12, D3, you have a question about taurine, you have a question about anything, type it into the search, see what he said about it. It is a non-profit, and they go through all the latest research so that we don't have to. Let me think if I can think of one more really good person who I think people should follow. I think that is actually not a person in particular, but I think it's a great idea to follow a bunch of vegans, a bunch of vegan recipe accounts, a bunch of vegan activists, animal rights activists. You know, just because then on your feed, even if you're like, oh, I'm not going to go vegan, maybe just get it coming in your head a little bit,
right.
You know, and just get in that world a little bit. Start reading the memes and and the quotes from famous people or whatever, and. Yeah, just to start planting those seeds in your head by following a lot of people. So there's so many online. Just go to #vegan, and literally so many good vegans. Or do top 10 vegan influencers to follow on Instagram, and there's a bunch of articles like that around.
Perfect.
Something like that.
Perfect, man. Last one for you, James. One thing people can do today that will greatly benefit them and the people around them.
I think if you are feeling guilty about anything, if you're holding on to something that you've done that you regret, something like that, if there's an apology to be made, I think guilt's a really bad energy to have inside of you, and you can detoxify from that by fixing those kind of problems that maybe you feel like you've caused. So I think if there's someone you need to apologize to, something you've done wrong, whether it was a mistake or deliberate or whatever, and you're feeling sorry about that, you might be able to let that go and heal through having a conversation about it with the person. And I think that'd be a good thing to do for you and for all the people around you. Obviously, my number one thing is to go vegan, but I already spoke about that for hours. So this is number two.
This is number two. I love it, man. All right, well, it's been a pleasure to have you on, James. I'm sure people are going to take a lot away from this, and we'll be sharing this all over the place so it gets the word out there.
Wicked. Thanks for having me on,
Thanks,
brother.
brother.
Good work.
Cheers, man.
Wicked.
Shot, man. Getting baked right here, bro. Man, I don't even know how to finish up that episode. That was incredible, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a ton out of it. James is the kind of guy that he's very forward in his approach and how he is doing his activism in this world, and I believe that we all are activists in our own way. You can go about it whatever way you like. Maybe it's not in your face, maybe it's not showing slaughterhouse footage, maybe it's you just having a chat to a friend or a family member at a gathering and showing them what you eat and how you're feeling and things like that, and not throwing it in their face, but just saying, hey, look, this is what I'm doing now. I think there's a form of activism in all of us. So let me know what you took away from this episode. Do me a favor, share this episode on your Instagram story, tag me in it, let us know what you actually took away, what were your big points, your main things. I'd love to know what you get out of this. Tag James in it as well, he'd love to see that. A couple of other things as well, guys. We are now uploading these to YouTube, so full video format. So if you want to watch the interview and you want to watch our interactions, that's always a better way to enjoy the episode as well, to see us interacting together. So you'll find this video up shortly on YouTube, along with a whole bunch of other content on there. Please subscribe to that channel as well. And of course, subscribe to our Instagram. As always, that's where the main content is coming out. Lastly, guys, if you are after any form of nutrition and training coaching, I'm definitely taking on one-to-one clients at this stage. Only a select few spots I will take because I do put a lot of effort into each of those clients. But if you're looking to gain muscle or lose fat or just become healthier and you need some kind of sample meal plan, you need some specific calories and macronutrients to hit, you need some simple habits to put in place, that's what I'm here for. So hit me up. Other than that, guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Peace and more plants.